So this is a white cane. At its very basic, a mobility tool for the visually impaired. Over the last century, it's become much more than that. It's become a symbol for blindness. But where did it all begin? Who started it? Who invented the white cane? Over the years, it's been called many things, some positive, some negative. My favorite was, it was once called a staff of independence. And I kind of love that. So I thought today, as we here in the US celebrate the anniversary of our independence, we would talk about the white cane. Talk about its history, where it came from, why in the world it has this red stripe on it. I also thought I'd reach out to some of my friends in the VIP community, get their thoughts on the white cane and what it means to them. Hey guys, my name is Sam. This is The Blind Life. Welcome back to the channel. Before we get started, I'd like to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, No Jab. This indeed is the No Jab cane. It's a revolutionary new design in the white cane. It uses this innovative spring-loaded handle to absorb about 80% of the normal impact you receive while using the white cane. So huge thank you to No Jab, and be sure to stay tuned to the end of the video where you can learn how to enter in to win a free No Jab cane. Okay, on with the history lesson. Today the white cane works both as a tool for the visually impaired, but also as a symbol. However, this wasn't always the case. Throughout history, the cane, the staff, and the walking stick have been used for independent travel for the visually impaired. Going all the way back to biblical times, records show that a shepherd's hook was used by the blind for independent travel. Now, this was the way it was for centuries, and it wasn't until the 20th century that the white cane became a symbol to indicate that someone was visually impaired. But who invented it? Who was the first? Well, that honor goes to James Biggs of Bristol, England. Biggs lost his sight due to an accident, and in 1921, he decided to paint his cane white to make it more visible to the increased motorized traffic in his area. In 1931, a lady named Gilly D. Herdmont began a white stick movement in France. And right around the same time, the BBC announced on their radio show that blind people should be given a white stick to help identify them as being visually impaired. Here in the US, we attribute the adoption of the white cane to the Lions Club International. The story goes that also in the early 30s, a Lions Club member was observing a blind man trying to cross a busy street using a black cane. This gentleman also realized that if they painted the cane white, it would make it more visible to the oncoming traffic. So in 1931, the Lions Club International began a national program to promote the white cane. Up to this point, there wasn't really a standardized way to use the white cane. Well, that all changed shortly after World War II when Dr. Richard Hoover created the long cane, or the Hoover method of cane travel. The first special white cane ordinance was passed in Peoria, Illinois in the early 30s, and this granted blind pedestrians special privileges and right-of-way while carrying their white cane. Over the next 30 years, many more states and even some countries continued this, granting blind pedestrians more and more rights. Then in the early 60s, several organizations and voc rehab agencies urged Congress to proclaim October 15th of every year White Cane Safety Day here in the US. Then in 1964, Lyndon B. Johnson became the first president in history to proclaim October 15th National White Cane Safety Day. The presidential proclamation emphasized the significance of the cane as both a tool and a visible symbol. In that first proclamation, President Johnson commended blind people for the growing spirit of independence and their increased determination to be self-reliant and dignified. So that is just a very quick summary of the history of the white cane. There's a lot more to it. If you guys would like to read about it, I will definitely link all of my sources in the description box down below. So that's how it all got started. But once again, what's up with that red stripe? Well, did you know that the coloring of the cane actually represents certain vision impairments? But I should also mention that these aren't hard and fast rules, and in fact, different sources state different things, and it also depends on the country you're in. So just take this all with a grain of salt. This doesn't mean you have to go out and get this particular cane if you have this particular vision impairment. To begin with, the solid white cane. That generally represents total blindness. The solid white cane is also much more popular in European countries. Here in the US, we tend to think of the white cane as having this red stripe or this red section. But actually, having a white cane with a red section indicates low vision or partial sight. One other source that I saw actually said that the red stripe was added to canes here in the US to make the cane much more visible in the winter time when the ground is covered with snow. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's what I read. If you have a cane that has multiple red stripes or alternating red and white stripes, that usually indicates deaf blindness. Once again, though, I want to stress that you don't have to stick to these rules. You can use whatever cane you want. And in fact, some companies are now offering canes in multiple colors. Every color under the rainbow. It's a way that you can personalize your cane. And in fact, I also read that some O&M instructors will oftentimes give brightly colored canes to children to encourage them to use their cane. Okay, that's enough history lesson for right now. Let's change gears a little bit. I wanted to reach out to some of my friends in the VIP community and to talk about what the cane has meant to them and their independence. Dave.
Hey, how are you doing?
There he is. How's it going, man?
I'm very good. How are you, mate? Okay.
Doing well. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, you're welcome.
So you're a cane user. So I just wanted to get your opinion. What do you think the white cane? What does the white cane mean to you regarding your independence?
For me, it's a sign of strength. A lot of people go through this stage, and I'm sure you're familiar with it yourself. I certainly went through it of kind of denying the cane and being self-conscious about using it in public, and not knowing how we're viewed for the cane, and almost being seen like a label as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of first time you're out, there's the blind guy. But yeah, I see it as a real sign of strength because it's showing that you are taking the assistance that you need to get out and live your life to the full.
Yeah, taking ownership, right? Taking ownership of your situation, and it's like, I'm not going to let it stop me, even though it is a little awkward.
I was going to say, you've been a massive part of my cane journey.
Me?
Yeah, you have, because like before last year, I'd only used my cane in certain places. I'm a guide dog user, and I was going through the whole thing of, I'd only use it in places like I really needed to, and crowded places when I'm on my own, going to the gym and things like that. And when I didn't need it, because I've got a fairly decent bit of central vision in my right eye, I just fold it away. But when I came to America for my book tour in October and November last year, and there was me, you, and Barry Asman running through Penn Station with all behind faces, long canes in hand, having to kind of weave through, whatever that kind of looked like to people. And it just, my cane skills and my kind of feeling comfy with the cane just went up to ninja levels.
What would be your advice to anyone who's kind of on the fence? What kind of encouragement could you give them?
I just think, don't fall into the trap of, feeling like you have to fit in with other people's misconceptions. There's naturally a lot of a lack of awareness and lack of education with regards to all the different shades of low vision. And if you honestly feel like you are avoiding certain places, then take the help that's out there to get your independence, whether that be from using a long cane, using a simple cane. Take the help that's needed and spend less time being needlessly isolated, and get out there and live your life to the full. That's what it's all about.
Hello.
Hey, Derek. How's it going, man?
It's going well.
Good. I wanted to talk to you a little bit, just kind of get your thoughts about the white cane and what that means to you regarding your independence and what it's brought to that.
So the white cane has long been the most, you put the cross up like, oh, I do not want the white cane. But so many people I've talked to, what it means to them is independence. It means the possibility of going out and doing things on your own for a couple of reasons. One, being able to find obstacles and curbs and things like that. It's sort of the physical thing it does. But also it helps identify you, which in some instances, some people are like, I want that. But yeah, I think it means so much to be able to go out and not only find your way, but to have others recognize and have them help. Even though it takes a little bit getting used to asking for help, the white cane can give you that leg up a little bit when you're going to ask for assistance.
Yeah. On that note, if you had something to say to someone who is thinking about using the cane or using a guide dog, what would you got any encouragement for them?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing to note is the cane's always a bit scary for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't want to be recognized, or I don't want to have to pull this out and people think I can't do things on my own, and whatever the case is. And that's just not true. The cane really means you can't see very well. That's really what it means. It's just a way to help you do things better. And ultimately, the whole purpose of using the cane or a guide dog or whatever mobility we have is to get out and go for it, to go on our own, to do things, going to the mall, going shopping, going hiking, whatever the case is. That's the point of it. It's scary, yes. Admit that it's scary. Admit that you're having a bit of anxiety, but still go for it and realize that, this is going to help me do more in the long run, and that's what it's about.
Carrie, what's up? How's it going today?
Hey, Sam. Good.
Good, good. Okay, so quick question. So the video today is about independence and specifically the white cane. Now, I know you're a white cane user, so I wanted to get your opinion. What has the white cane meant to you?
Wow, what a question. Well, if I didn't have the white cane, I'd probably just hide inside my house because the white cane in a way is what I use as something that goes in front of me so that people can know that I am visually impaired. And so if I run over them or something, or if I bump into them, they won't complain. And especially when I went through mobility training, my teacher put me in the spot in places where, I was kind of really shy, and she put me in the spot where I had to go out there and advocate and and learn the skills and really speak for myself. And so, having that cane just gives me the freedom to go wherever I want to go or do whatever I want to do.
So if you're going to talk to someone who is maybe on the fence about using the cane, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would tell them to just learn it. You don't necessarily have to use it, but it's always best to have that as a tool that you can pull out if you need to.
James, what's up, man? Thanks for sitting down with me for a minute.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I've been asking everybody, and I will ask you as well. It's Independence Day. So what has the white cane meant to you personally regarding bringing you more independence?
Yeah, for me, I never actually held a white cane in my youth. They always told me, "You've got sight, you'll be fine." I reach adulthood, I finally, don't have a parent holding my hand across the street. It wasn't so fine. I'm stumbling, I'm hitting things, I'm walking to things. For me, having a stagnus, things are moving in my vision. So I discovered the white cane at about the age of 19 or 20, so in the last 4 to 5 years. And it's been life-changing. It's allowed me to, travel just down my neighborhood, down my block, to keep myself safe and everything, and also just be an identifier for people around me to keep their distance, especially in the age of social distancing. If my white cane's stopping you, you're probably not far enough.
Right.
So, and the white cane is really, it's allowed me to even travel the world, which has been one of the most, I think, appreciative things I've had for it. Feeling comfort walking around a foreign country with it, it's, I wouldn't have that otherwise. I'd have to be traveling with someone. I couldn't do it alone. So my white cane's with me for that.
Then if you were talking to someone who was maybe on the fence about wanting to use a cane, thinking they were ready, they could benefit from it, what kind of things would you have to say to them?
I'd say look into programs that offer free white canes. I went through with a trial one, like one of the alternatives that didn't collapse. It was just sort of available for free through, I think it was the NFB, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, NFB.
Yeah, and so that was a great entry level cane for me to kind of just get familiar, comfortable with. But regardless, just give it a try. The best way that you can know if it's for you is by having that option. And the thing is, a lot of people don't always, they just take it what they're given and they don't ask, or they don't look into their options and try to take initiative and advocate for themselves. So I think that's a big push. If you can push yourself to try something new that might be life changing for you, just please do it for yourself.
Casey, what's up? How's it going?
Hey, it's going good.
Good. Okay, so the idea of the video, you know the idea of the video, and I couldn't have a video talking about the white cane without having you on it, of course, because I think I probably can speak for a lot of people, and myself included. You really have been the driving force, inspiration behind most of us adopting the white cane and being more comfortable with it and using it. So I definitely wanted to talk to you and get your opinion on the cane in your own life. Like, how has it changed your life, good or bad?
Well, first of all, thank you for that. I have a passion about the cane and about helping people become confident to use the cane. The cane has definitely changed my life for the good and the bad, but I think mostly for the good. The only bad things that come with it are the negative stereotypes and stigma, but that's why we're educating people on YouTube. And it definitely has given me a lot of independence. I can walk by myself down the street and not be afraid, because bikers and traffic can see me and see that I'm visually impaired. But also with having a lack of depth perception, I can feel the stairs, the curbs, all of that sort of thing, because I'm not independent without the cane. When I don't have the cane, I always have to either hold on to someone or at least walk a little bit behind someone so that when they go down a stair that I know to go down the stair and so on and so forth. And it's really hard, or I'm just like really looking down the whole time and being overly cautious. And so it helps me also just to be less uptight when I'm walking and get to relax more and take in my surroundings instead of always having to be on edge about where I'm stepping.
If anybody was kind of on the fence about wanting to use the cane, I want to get your opinion or your advice for them. Number one, I would send them to your video, your cane video, the pink cane video. But if you are talking to somebody and like I said, they're thinking about using the cane, they think it could help them, what kind of advice would you give?
I think a lot of people have the problem with feeling like they aren't blind enough for the white cane if they aren't completely blind. And my advice is, if you are visually impaired and you are struggling to walk at all, that the cane can be very helpful for you. And I know that it can be scary to be stared at by the public and things like that, but just try it out, take it little by little, and take it slowly at a pace that works for you.
Matt, hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, Sam, what's going on? It's so nice to hear from you.
Yeah, no problem. So what do you think about the white cane? And in particular, what has the white cane meant to you regarding your own personal independence?
Yeah, that's such a funny question because, it took me quite a few years to get comfortable with using a cane. I was just so hesitant to using one. But then finally, through a bunch of different people that I've been talking to here on YouTube, they've really encouraged me to go ahead and start O&M training and, just encouraged me to move forward with it. So I finally did. And it's one of those things that I look back on it and I think, why didn't I do this years ago? It has given me so much independence and freedom. It's just unbelievable. I just can't believe how much life-changing the whole event of implementing a cane into my life has been. I mean, when I go out in public with a cane, it's like, it's unbelievable the response I get and how nice people are and accommodating. It literally has been life-changing. And I look back on it for all those years that I was so hesitant. I just feel like, man, I wish I would have gone through with O&M or at least started carrying a cane with me years ago.
Yeah, because it kind of echoes the point that I've been making throughout this video is that the cane isn't just a mobility tool. It's probably more importantly, a symbol. And so it helps identify you so that if you do need help, this cane is the reason why,
I completely agree with that. Yeah, exactly. It's definitely, like an extension, like people say this too, like it's an extension of yourself. And I feel like that's absolutely true. And I look back on myself, a couple years ago before I started using the cane, and I thought it probably looked really, suspicious. Me walking around, tripping on a few things here and there, maybe bumping into things, and I didn't have a white cane to identify, and people would probably think like, okay, like something's going on with that guy. Like, is he on drugs? Is he drunk? You know what I mean? Like that.
Right.
But now using the cane, it's like, people are just so nice and accommodating. It's just a really good experience.
Well, then that brings me into the next question is, if you were talking with someone and they were kind of on the fence about starting to use the cane, they maybe they think they should, but they're not sure about it, what would you say to them?
Yeah, so my response to somebody like that would be, I would say, even if you're not comfortable starting with O&M training, what I would recommend is at the very least, get a white cane and just start using it a little bit. Maybe when you go out to some stores, carry it with you and just see the response that you start getting. You're going to recognize that people will like literally go out of their way to help you. At first, I wasn't comfortable with O&M training, but I started using a cane primarily in airports because my wife and I love to travel, and I started using it there, and I started realizing like, wow, this is a powerful tool. And not only that, like people would look at me, I mean, they would help me through the airport. It was so much more accommodating, and I felt like if you're on the fence, at the very, very least, just get a white cane and just start using it around. Even if you don't know how to use it, just carry it with you so that it identifies like you're visually impaired. Mm-hmm. And I think you'll start to see the power in carrying the white cane with you.
Juan, what's up, buddy? How's it going?
Hey, man, what's going on?
So you're a cane user. What has using the cane meant to you with regards to your independence or giving you independence?
To be honest, that's meant a lot. I mean, if you were to ask me, it's almost like as if you're giving the blind person the keys to the car. It's almost like it's almost like you're giving like a teenager like the keys to the car for the first time, because when you don't have those mobility skills, it feels like you're just restricted. And all of a sudden, when you do that training for O&M and you're able to use your cane, all of a sudden it's like the world just opens up to you all over again, and you don't feel restricted. And I think that's an awesome feeling to have. Like a lot of times, most of us are in that denial phase, and I was too. And it took me a while to get to that phase. So yeah, I do recommend taking O&M, but when you're ready yourself to take that step.
Okay, and so that leads right into the second question: is if someone is kind of thinking about it, maybe I want to start using the white cane. What kind of advice could you give them?
Don't see it as something that is going to be a burden on yourself, or that you're going to be a burden on other people, because really when you get past that I don't need a cane or I'm not blind enough mindset, then it's definitely going to help. It's going to just open up the world, like I've said, and it really is going to be an extra set of eyes for you, because you don't have to look down anymore. You're going to have to, you're going to realize that cane is going to be very useful, especially when you're going upstairs, downstairs. It becomes an extension of you, and you're also going to realize that you're going to, it's better to have your cane and not need it than not have it and need it.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally, give you guys my opinion on the matter. I totally agree with everything everybody said. And I would also echo the point that if you're thinking about using a cane and you're unsure, just give it a try. Take it out for an easy test drive and see how she handles. But what if you don't have a cane? Segue, time to talk about our contest for this video. Once again, huge thank you to No Jab for sponsoring this video and giving away several free canes to my viewers. So here's how it's gonna go, guys. In a couple of weeks, I will do a live stream and I will choose a few winners. What do you have to do to enter? It's very easy. All you have to do is make sure you're subscribed to the Blind Life YouTube channel, give this video a like, give it a big thumbs up, and also leave a comment. The canes will be shipped out by No Jab, and unfortunately, I apologize, but right now they don't have international shipping, so this contest is only for the US. A huge good luck to everyone who enters the contest. Stay tuned, in a couple of weeks, we'll announce the winners. Thank you guys for watching the video. As always, I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Like and subscribe, even if you're not entering the contest. Don't forget to check out the description box where I will have links to all my sources, links to all the channels and social media for all my guests on today's video. Once again, a huge thank you to them. But that's it, guys. Thanks again, Sam with the Blind Life. I'll see you next time.